guys, it's your girl Kiki Soto here at Urban Girl Gardening. Thank you so much for coming back and checking us out again, checking out my channel. Before we get started, take a moment, like, subscribe, share, comment, do something, y'all. Show your girl some love, okay? I'll even give you a second. Look at that, I gave you 3. You had more than enough time. Now let's get started. Today we're going to talk about fall planting. We are here in upstate New York, Zone 5B. Our first frost date is expected October 3rd, October 4th, but we've been having great mild weather. So if you haven't had a chance to get something started, you still have time. This bed here is my brassica bed. We have collard greens here. We have some beautiful curly kale. We have some more collards. These are giant purple mustard greens, red Russian kale. Here we have some cabbages and a little more kale here. And I planted these things pretty close. It's called intensity planting, so you can get more for your space. And that includes the cabbages. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, why are you planting cabbages so close together? Well, that's because I'm not expecting huge heads of cabbage. You got to remember that this stuff is growing into the cold. So it's going to grow, but it's going to grow slower. And also, I don't know about y'all, but my family can't eat a whole cabbage head in one sitting. We'll probably eat half, and then the other half will sit in the fridge until we're ready for it. And it might be ready to go before we're ready to eat it. So I'd rather plant stuff that'll grow and we can eat in the capacity that works for us. Okay, so I'm also going to show you guys my last summer bed real quick. The veggies that we're going to go inside and start are going to replace these things here. We have some zucchini, we have some corn. The beans are going to stay because they'll last a little while. The purslane can stay because they'll last a little while into the cold. And then all of this is going to come up when it gets down to a certain point, a certain amount of degrees. I'd say when our days are down to like 60s and our nights are down to like 40 or below, then this stuff will have to go. Over here, we have another fall bed that was started just a few weeks ago. Here I have broccoli, we have peas, we have some Swiss chard coming up, some red cabbage here, red kohlrabi, some Florida leaf lettuce, and some loose leaf lettuce varieties. Okay, so I'm going to take you inside, show you how to get some of these things started, get them germinating quickly. I'm going to show you what to use, and we'll be good to go. Stay tuned. Okay guys, we are back, and we are in the Urban Girl Gardening garage, child. All right. Now listen, this is a little cluttered now, but it is soon to be my seed starting space and grow area. So this is also a place where I can get some quiet, some calm, and do what I need to do. I got 5 kids, y'all, and sometimes you just gotta hide. But anyway, so I'm going to show you guys how I start my seeds that are going to be transplanted outside. I'm also going to show you all that container gardening, because I container garden as well, how you can start some of your seeds and grow them to fruition in your containers. So here I've already started some of the veggies that are going to go outside. I have red mustard greens, some more collards, some salad bowl lettuce, red kale. There's a few of these lettuces here. We have cimarron, green salad bowl, butter crunch, some Lola Rosa, and some baby bok choy. Now outside, I already showed you guys the loose leaf lettuce, broccoli, red cabbage, mustard. I don't think I pointed out the endive, but there's endive out there as well. Some people call it escarole, and Florida broadleaf greens. So just for starters, I'm going to show you guys the orange Swiss chard and the Ford Hook Giant Swiss chard. Now these things grow well in the heat and in the cold. You cannot fail with a Swiss chard. So these things will do great in your fall garden. And we're going to start arugula in the container. So I know you guys will find on a lot of the gardening channels the YouTubers starting in seed packs. Well, I'm old school. I try to do things as inexpensively as possible, and I start in plastic cups. Some of you guys probably already know and do the same thing. So the first thing I do is I take the cups, I take a nice sharp knife, and stuck. I just pop it in, pop it out, and I make drainage holes. You want to have drainage holes in the bottom of your cups. You want to make sure you have drainage holes in the bottom of your planters because you do not want your seeds to rot. You do not want your roots to rot. So you have to have good drainage. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is the soil that I use, which is flower, vegetable, and garden soil plus fertilizer. Now, I know some of your YouTubers will tell you to use potting mix, and you can find potting mix fairly cheap. But for me, I'm going to always start with garden soil because these items are going in my garden. So why start with potting mix and then switch it to a growing soil? And it has the fertilizer, so it's going to be just fine, guys. I've had great success. If you feel more comfortable doing potting mix, you're welcome to. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my marker and I'm going to write on the cups what I'm growing. So we have the orange Swiss, so that's what I'm going to write. Orange Swiss. There we go. Then we have the giant Swiss, so I'm going to write giant Swiss. Right? And then let's see, one more thing I can show you guys to start in cups. Something that I love to eat. I think I'm going to go with the red mustard greens, the giant red mustard greens. Yeah, so we'll start with those because I know a lot of you are going to be growing greens because greens do great all winter long. So here I'm just going to put red greens. All right? So we're all labeled. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my cup, slide it through with soil. I'm not going to fill it up too much. I'm only going to fill it up to about here, guys. That first brim line there, that's where I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to do another one here. There we go. I'm going to do another one. Here we go. So that's these three here. Now I'm going to take my red mustard greens. I'm going to show you guys the seeds. Oh Lord, that's way too much. Guys, these seeds are super tiny, super small. They're round little balls that give you a lot of food. Isn't it amazing what comes from one seed? Yes, it is. So I'm just going to take about 4 or 5 of these in my hand. And I'm just going to drop the seeds, just sprinkle them around the top. Okay? And that's it. I'm going to put the rest of the seeds back in. And then I'm going to take my giant Swiss. And guys, this Swiss chard, when I tell you, it's beautiful as it grows. These seeds are a little different, you can see. But yes, it's beautiful as it grows, and it's heat hardy and cold hardy. So you can grow these all spring through fall, through winter if you have the right enclosures. So I'm just gonna drop, I'll say 5 seeds. Just spread it around a little in the cup. And I'm going to put the rest back. Close that up. Gonna move on to the orange Swiss. Drop a little in my hand. Now these are quite big. These are pretty big, guys. So I'm just gonna drop 4 of these in. Right on the top. We're not gonna push them in. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. There we go. 4 seeds. Pop the rest in, close it up. And then I'm gonna take my hand. Yes, my hand, y'all. We are gardening. It gets dirty. This is what we're gonna do, okay? And I'm gonna take about, I'm gonna say 2 tablespoons of soil and just cover the top. And cover it at least an inch, guys. Because when we water, we do not want the soil to push down and push our seeds up. They need to be in the ground in order, well, not in the ground, in the soil enough in order for them to germinate, grow up, and roots grow down. Okay, so those are in. Then I'm gonna take my watering can. I already have water in it, and I'm going to use, you can tell I use it a lot, my seaweed fertilizer. Now this is a growth starter, growth stimulator rather. It helps the seeds germinate well. Look at me. No, it's not going in here, y'all. It's going in the watering can. I'm just gonna put a drop in here. And this is why the bottle looks like this, because I use it a lot. And it's a little bit of spillage, but that's okay. I'm gonna take my knife that I already have. I'm just gonna mix it in with the water. Just a few stirs. And I'm just gonna water lightly over the top. Just enough to wet the soil. That's all, guys. And that's all for that. And then, as you can see, the water's draining out. That's what you want to see. You want well drainage, okay? Very well drainage. And then as these grow and you start to see the sprouts and they start to get their first leaves and their second leaves, I'm no longer going to water from the top. I'm going to water from the bottom so that the soil absorbs the water and it goes straight to the roots, stimulate more growth, okay? So that's that. Next, guys, I am going to show you, sit that there for now. Oh, and these guys are just gonna go right on my porch. We've been having really good weather. It's not too hot for them to germinate. The seeds won't burn out or anything like that. Okay, so next I'm going to show you guys who are gardening in containers how you can start some of your fall seeds in the containers and they can grow there and do well, okay? So this is a 10-gallon container, and I actually grew beans in this one, and there's nothing wrong with reusing your soil, but you do have to amend it. So I'm going to take my little rake, a baby rake, and I'm just gonna move the dirt around a little bit. So you see that? Fluff it up, loosen it up. We need nice loose soil, guys. Give the roots room to grow. Okay. And then I am going to use ta-da! This is cow manure and compost that has fertilizer. And we're going to use this just to amend the soil, add some nutrients back to the pot that was taken out from the veggies that were growing in it previously, right? We got to put the good stuff back in. So it's going to take a few handfuls. Move this over here so you guys can see. I'm going to take a few handfuls. I'm going to put it right around the top. Right around the top. Compost right to the top, guys. And now when you're growing in containers, you want to make sure that you have space here. Okay, because your seeds are going to grow in here and they're going to grow up and they're going to go out. So you want them to have something to support them around the sides. You don't want to fill it all the way to the top and then your seeds grow and they're flopping over. There's nothing to support them. So I'm going to put a little more compost here. Okay, we're done with that. And in this pot, I am going to plant arugula. And arugula is very cold hardy, very, very good for you. And for those of you who like lettuces with a bite to them, like a little peppery bite, kind of like the mustard greens, the purple mustard greens, arugula is one of those veggies with a good bite. Excellent in salads, stir fries. And you guys, here are the seeds. And with this, I'm just gonna have some between my fingers and I'm just gonna sprinkle the seeds all around, y'all. Just sprinkle it all in. That's all. Okay, then I'm gonna take a little more of my garden soil and I'm gonna cover the seeds. You wanna cover about an inch over the seeds. Go, a little more. Remember, we're not filling to the top. And then, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blood meal and I'm going to sprinkle some on top. This is pure nitrogen. Blood meal is awesome for your garden, especially awesome for your leafy vegetables because the nitrogen promotes healthy leaf growth and beautiful foliage. So if I can get it open, this, I'm just gonna take some, and y'all, this stuff smells so bad. Blood meal is literally dried bones from animals. Yeah, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little on the top, just a little. And guys, this is a part of amending the soil. Remember, what was in here was taking from the soil. So we want to put back into the soil so that our future veggies will have everything that they need. And then, guys, I'm going to take my same container that has the seaweed fertilizer in here, and I'm going to water with this. Now, I'm not going to do it right now because we're inside, and this is going to grow on my front porch, and I have drainage holes, so I don't want water getting all over the place. Okay? So I just want to show you guys one or two more examples of container growing. This right here is a plant that goes outside of my window. During the summer, we had flowers, very beautiful flowers for a while, y'all. They kind of burned out in the summertime, but listen, I'm better with veggies than I am with flowers. I'll admit it. When I learn how to do it, you guys will learn how to do it too. So what I am growing in here, I already amended the soil, just like I showed you guys here. And I did chives and cilantro, two cold hardy herbs that are also perennials. So if these happen to go to seed, they will come back next spring. And they'll actually last through most of the winter, guys, especially the cilantro. Cilantro is so cold hardy. Most people think because it's used in Mexican dishes, because it's a Mexican based herb, and it's very plentiful during the summertime when we're eating our salsa and stuff like that, that it's a summer herb. It's not. Cilantro will not last in the summer at all. It will go to seed, it will flower, it will bolt. You won't have it for very long. But in the winter, it will do great. So I did half cilantro, half chives, and water it all in, and it's going outside. Now, if you guys come with me down here, this is a 20-gallon container. And this container grew corn, you guys, corn. 5 stalks of corn in the container, which is fine as long as the container is big enough. Corn needs to be crowded so it can pollinate well. They love being crowded together. So what I did was pull the corn out, amended the soil just like I showed you guys here, added my compost, added my blood meal, added my fish emulsion, and I planted baby bok choy. I spread the seeds about 4 to 6 inches apart. Bok choy is an Asian green. It's delicious. If you like Asian vegetables, bok choys, pak choys, then you'll love this. It will grow great in the cold as well. So that's that. This is going to go outside and grow on my front porch as well. It has the blood meal. And guys, blood meal is also said to ward off animals because they smell that blood smell. And I guess they don't want to be blood meal, right? Right. Okay, so I think we've covered most of the fall garden planning. There's other things you can grow in containers this size. If I were growing collard greens, I'd probably only do maybe 3 plants in here, maybe, because collard greens grow fast and they grow big. So I might even just do 2. If I were growing it in this size, or kale, I'd probably do 1, stretching it to 2. If you're going to start picking from the bottom leaves very early, then I would do 2 because they won't get that big. But if you want full body like kale, lettuces, if you want them to grow big, if you're not going to pick them at the baby stage, then I would do 1, maybe 2. Okay? All right, so that's it for this episode. This episode of Urban Girl Gardening. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. I will talk back. We can talk about it, y'all. Let's do this. Let's learn together. Let's grow together. And guys, continue to grow and eat well, and just love your garden and it'll love you back. All right, guys? Thank you so much. See you next time.